UFC fighters' fight IQ. When I say the word fight IQ, a lot of MMA fans are going to be talking about the IQs of Israel Adesanya, the way that he's been able to use distance management to become a dominant champion. In Khabib Nurmagomedov, his grappling IQ being higher than 99% of all UFC fighters to ever be in the organization. Or John Jones for being undefeated throughout his entirety of his career, except for the one time he threw a 12-6 elbow. We'll get to that. However, I'm not going to make a boring video where I talk about the best fight IQs and I spend the entirety of a 30-minute video glazing every single UFC fighter's good decisions. No, that's not this channel. We're going to be talking about UFC fighters that I think, IQ-wise, they would be considered imbeciles. Neanderthals, even. I'm not saying they're bad fighters, but if they used like 20 more brain cells, they might become a UFC champion. We'll cover the good stuff too. But I'm going to be taking some of the most well-known UFC fighters throughout the history of the UFC, either for their great fight IQ, or their horrifically low IQ in general, putting them in a tier list, from MMA Genius being our S tier, to just dunce being our bottom of the bottom. And for every UFC fighter that I'm going to be naming in this video, I will give a reasoning for their placement. And with that out of the way, if you enjoy this type of content, please consider a like, comment, subscribe. The plan is to reach 10,000 subscribers by July of this year. That is my goal. If you guys can help me achieve that, when we get to 10,000 subscribers, I will make an hour-long video going through every single UFC champion that has ever been in the organization and putting them into a tier list from best to worst. And we got a lot of bad ones. And with that out of the way, let's get started. We're gonna start off hot. We're going Justin Gaethje. Now, the Justin Gaethje, all the way up until the Dustin Poirier fight, maybe even the Rafael Fiziev fight, I would probably put below average. Why would I say that? Because Justin Gaethje was famous for saying, after when he was asked his game plan, it was, I'm perfectly okay getting hit 2 times if I can hit you 1 time. Make no mistake, that's pretty badass. But you're going to lose a lot of fights that way. And, you know, you're probably going to turn out like Muhammad Ali. I'm just going to say it. However, Justin Gaethje might be the only UFC fighter to gain brain cells halfway through his career. Or some would even say the tail end of his career. The Rafael Fiziev fight is a fight that a lot of people picked him to lose because if he fought like he did against even Tony Ferguson, he would lose to Rafael. However, bro sewed off some IQ and actually hit a takedown. And then we go into the Dustin Poirier fight through the first head kick KO of his entire career. And honestly, I'm going to put him in average. Congratulations, Justin Gaethje. You have gone from below average fight IQ to average. And I do take an average of everything. Like, to be an MMA genius, you have to be a master over all forms of combat sport. So, yeah, there's some people that I'm going to make a lot of people mad when I say this guy's not going to be an MMA genius. But Justin Gaethje, overall, his approach to fighting, I'm going to put him in average. Dustin Poirier, you were almost in Spart. You were almost here. You almost made it. Well, you had to go and fuck it up against Benoit Saint Denis. How many jumping guillotines, Dustin? How many? 4? And then goes on the MMA Hour talking about, well, you miss every guillotine, you don't jump. How many did we miss, Dustin? You tried the same thing with Khabib, and I'm going to tell you this right now. Even Khabib said, I was not worried about the guillotine because Dustin goes for guillotines in every single fight. If it hasn't worked yet in your career, you are 35 years of age. Can you please stop doing it? I'm saying this out of love. You want to know why? Because I want you to have a successful end of your career and not get CTE'd in the next generation and turn into the next Tony Ferguson. You're a smart dude. But in all honesty, the guillotine shit is going to put you below Justin. Below Justin Gaethje. The dude that people were calling MMA Homer Simpson, I'm going to have to put you underneath of him. So yes, no. In the middle of average. Michael Chandler, dunce. I can say this right now. If Michael Chandler just woke up one day with like 20 extra IQ points, he will become UFC champion. Believe it or not. Stylistically, he has one of the best chances of beating Islam Makhachev. Good wrestling, good striking, good first round cardio. Just an absolute beast of a human being. Like, bro hit a pistol squat with the entirety of the weight of Dustin Poirier and slammed him. But you didn't have to do all that. You could just hit a single. Or, wait for the inevitable guillotine from Dustin Poirier and get an easy pass in the side control. You could have won that fight multiple times, but the low IQ forced you to lose. Charles Oliveira, you could have beaten Charles. But you played dumb. I'm going to have to put you in dunce. Like, I don't even think this is a controversial subject. Brother, when I put this on my community post, everybody said you were like the lowest IQ fighter. Gain some IQ, and then we can become a champion. Conor McGregor. Listen, outside of the octagon, maybe below average. I can't deny he's actually a really smart dude. Conor McGregor, the Donald Cerrone fight, the shoulder strikes he was hitting from the clinch, that started a new wave of UFC fighters going for that specific type of attack. I know other UFC fighters were doing it before that, but for whatever reason, there was a big increase in the frequency of fighters doing it after that fight. We also have the Eddie Alvarez fight, the Jose Aldo fight, probably the best fighter when it came to mental warfare. And I understand people are going to talk about now, but if I'm going to include like Anderson Silva in this type of tier list, I'm going to have to go off of prime Conor McGregor. He was smart. He was a dangerously smart dude. Not quite an MMA genius. Not quite there, but definitely a smart dude. Henry Cejudo. Okay. Henry Cejudo actually has one of the best minds for combat sports. Oh my lord, ads. I do not care about your damn Discover card. Okay. Alright. Henry Cejudo. What does he have to bring here? I really like his fight breakdowns. And listen, I need to preface this. There's going to be multiple MMA geniuses here. I might actually have to put... I actually don't know. I'm going to put him in smart. I'm going to put him above Conor McGregor. Not quite MMA genius. Because there's sometimes I feel like Cejudo will give advice that he phrases it in a way that makes it sound like, wow, but it's really like no shit. I remember when Henry Cejudo gave advice to Aljamain Sterling for Sean O'Malley. And Cejudo goes on his YouTube channel and tells him exactly what was going to happen in the Sean O'Malley fight. And I shit you not, the advice was, O'Malley's a striker. He's going to try to keep it at distance. Another Discover ad! How? Okay. This might be the inside joke for the video. Henry Cejudo. Where was I? Oh yeah, no. He talking about Sean O'Malley and the KO he got over Aljamain Sterling, saying that he predicted it. And saying, oh, Sean O'Malley is a striker. He's going to want to keep it at distance. His lateral movement. He's going to, if you come in a blitz, he's going to KO you. No shit. Everybody knew that. O'Malley's a striker. He's a counter striker. He'll KO you if you come in. Yes. That's not even many people were saying that. People were picking Aljamain because they said, well, the odds of Aljamain winning are better than Sean O'Malley getting a KO. You didn't predict O'Malley to win. You predict that O'Malley could get a KO. Everybody said that. I'm going to put you in smart because I do believe you are a really smart dude. But honestly, yeah, no, I got to... How many Discover ads are there? Okay. Next up, maybe Cejudo's just cursed. Alex Pereira. Smart dude. When it comes to his striking, he probably is a better striker. Ooh, that's actually a tough one. I'm going to put him at the top of average for now. Let me explain. Alex Pereira is an amazing striker. Actually, I got to put him... I'm going to put him at the bottom of smart. Why is he not above Conor? Why is he not above Henry Cejudo when Conor isn't as good a striker as Alex Pereira? It's as simple as this one. Conor McGregor is far more well-rounded, and that does boost him up. Alex Pereira's jiu-jitsu and wrestling just isn't there. However, his striking IQ is extremely high. He's a good... if you actually, look at some of the instructionals he puts out, they're pretty good. Him showing off how to strike, his way that he leg kicks, the way that he defends leg kicks is really good. Especially for being as big as he is, he defends leg kicks like he's like he's a lighter dude. However, you don't have to be particularly smart when you have just crazy genetic power. That's a real thing. There's less fight IQ the higher up you go up in the weight classes because you just don't need as much fight IQ when you can knock a dude's head off his shoulders with your left hand. I'm going to put him at the bottom of smart because his striking IQ is so good, but yeah, no, he can't go in MMA genius. Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya is a better striker than Conor McGregor. Decent, and he has decent anti-jiu-jitsu, decent anti-wrestling, whether people want to admit it or not. The Jan Blachowicz fight, Jan's just so much bigger than he is, so I can't hold that too much against him. But Israel Adesanya has crazy striking IQ. I'm putting him above Alex Pereira. Why am I doing that? Because Israel is doing as good as Alex is in MMA when it comes to striking, with less power. Like, it's in between hairs here. Like, we're barely there. But I gotta put Israel above Alex Pereira purely because he doesn't have as much power, and his arsenal of strikes is a little bit better than Alex, although we're splitting hairs at that point. But he is a better striker than Conor McGregor. Oh, but if we're going prime for prime, I want to put Conor above Israel. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Strickland, average. I'll put him at the top of average, though. Why? As much as people are going to give Strickland, and I'm a Strickland fan, as much as people want to give Strickland credit for the Israel Adesanya fight, and I do, he did outclass Israel Adesanya. But I think that's a stylistic matchup. That's a rock, paper, scissors thing. We saw that. Like Dricus beat Strickland. I think Israel beats Dricus, and I think Strickland beats Israel. I think that's how it's going to go. But then again, standing up and striking with a 2-time Glory Kickboxing World Champion is just low fight IQ behavior. And honestly, overall, he's a smart dude when it comes to MMA. But the Alex Pereira fight drops you down to average. It was that bad. Yeah, I'm sorry, I gotta put him there. Alexander Volkanovski, top. He almost makes MMA genius. However, why did you go into the second Islam fight? I am going to be that picky. No. The second Islam fight, the fact that you came in, honestly hurts you. It does. It hurts you that bad. Because there was no reason for you to do that. And then after the second Islam fight, when you got head kick KO'd, you insisted that you were ready to fight Ilia Topuria in January. Yeah, a lot of people forget that. UFC 297 was supposed to be Volkanovski versus Ilia, and Strickland versus Dricus was supposed to be on that card as well. But then the UFC made Volkanovski wait a whole month. So yeah, no, I'll put you at the top of smart because of the amount of work that you were able to put in over your tenure. But at the same time, dude, that was such a bad idea to go in at that point. It does drop you down a full tier. Dominic Cruz, very, very smart dude. I included the creme de la creme. I actually kind of regret putting a lot of the smart guys early on, but don't worry. We have some lower IQ people later on. I'm going to have to put Dominic Cruz. Another Discover ad. I'm not buying your fucking credit card. Ugh. Okay. Dominic Cruz. I'm going to put him. He's smarter than Alex Pereira. And I'm going to say he's a little bit smarter. He's just below prime Conor when it comes to fight IQ, but the way that he's able to break down fights, his commentary is goated. I don't care what people say. Okay, aside from a few things. Okay, let me take that back before you guys crucify me. Yeah, no, okay, sometimes his commentary's shit. Other times he's good. I'll put him above Israel Adesanya, above Alex Pereira, and definitely above... Yeah, no, I think I got this one. I got this one right. Robert Whittaker, smart dude. I'm going to put him, though... I'm going to put him below Strickland. I think Strickland has underrated grappling. I think his grappling is actually really good, but he just doesn't really utilize it as much as he does because, well, one, he's missing a quarter of his quad, I believe, so changing levels is actually way more difficult for Strickland than it is to most fighters. Robert Whittaker, I'll say, beats him in the grappling IQ. Striking IQ, Strickland conquers. And that's why I think Strickland would actually beat Robert Whittaker. Like, don't get me wrong, Robert Whittaker's a smart dude. He's going to be at the higher end of average, and he's better than Gaethje and Poirier. But, yeah, no, Strickland, honestly, if we took everything all together, he narrowly beats Robert Whittaker. Kevin Holland, below average. Yeah, no, dude. What do I need to bring up? The fact that you agreed to fight Hamzat Chimaev and got ragdolled and Darce choked. The fact that you... We can even bring up the MVP fight. The fact that you tried to make a standing-only matchup against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Low IQ behavior. The fact that you could have won against Jack Della Maddalena, but you kind of decided to coast the third round, even though that you could have won it. The MVP fight. You didn't try to go for a takedown until you realized that MVP was already up on the scorecards. There's a lot of below-average fight IQ behavior from Kevin Holland. And I think a lot of it is he's trying to make money. But at the same time, I'm not going to excuse that because Michael Chandler's in duns. But you're below average. Other times he's a genius. But no, below average, 100%. Cyril Gahn. I might have to put him in dunce. I could actually put him in dunce. I'm going to put him in below average, but I might move him down. Why? He didn't know how to get out of a fucking guillotine. I know that's big. That's a big thing for me to say, being the dude that just, makes content on here. You didn't even try to attack the wrist. Like, brother, when somebody has a guillotine on you and just putting your hand up and then going for the tap instead of, grabbing the fucking wrist that's choking you unconscious, that's low fight IQ behavior. And I have to put you in bottom of below average to dunce behavior. Also, the fact that you could have won the Francis Ngannou fight, but you decided to sit back for a heel hook when you've... What were we thinking? Legitimately. What was going on? Like, I have to put you here. Like, there's so many instances where you could have done something amazing, but you just chose to do the exact opposite of what you should have done. Wonder Boy. Smarter than Poirier. Poirier, the jumping guillotines pisses me off. Better than Gaethje? I'll put him above Gaethje. Robert Whittaker's better than Wonderboy. Just overall fight IQ. Striking IQ? That could be its own video if you guys really want it, but striking IQ, I would put him even close to an MMA genius, dude. His striking is so crisp at his age. And I'm gonna put him in middle average, just above Justin Gaethje narrowly. Why? How long have you been in the MMA and your grappling just isn't quite there yet? And you know that that's a weakness of yours. It just isn't there. I don't know if he's just so tuned to striking that his brain can't formulate the connections to being like a great grappler. Like, I'm not even saying a great, like an ADCC level grappler. I'm talking like good. Like, his grappling is mid, striking is masterclass. You've just been fighting for so long, your grappling being at this level for the entirety of your career is honestly kind of disappointing. However, your striking IQ carries you so far up. Tony Ferguson, below average at this point. If you want to go prime, you could put him in average, but I'm gonna tell you this right now. I think he's more creative. I think he's a creative-minded dude. Like, he definitely has the tism and the schizophrenia. And I think it helps him with his fighting. I'm being genuinely honest. This isn't even a bit. I do believe the schizophrenia helps him with creativity. Because he genuinely does shit that is... Like, it amazes me how it works. The sand bullshit that he does, the fact that that actually works, is amazing to me. But then he'll do other shit, like take a fight with Justin Gaethje when he's been training to fight Khabib Nurmagomedov for an entire training camp, and then lose, and then bring up all the other shit, destroy his knee, rip the MCL off the bone, and then just choose not to go to a physical therapist. Even after the entirety of the UFC, all your fans are begging you to just join a gym, get a real team behind you. You insist on just doing this traveling circus act. And at this point, just not leaving the UFC. That is below average fight IQ behavior. It hurts me to say it, but yeah, I gotta put you there. Yair Rodriguez, below average. Yep, I have to put him below average. He's great. Maybe I'll put him at the bottom. Maybe. Why were you trying to grapple with Brian Ortega? I'm still mad about that because I had money on you, dude. Why were you trying to grapple with Brian Ortega? You're not that guy, pal. Why were you trying to grapple with him? And then you practically just gave him a head and arm. I understand. But why would you even engage with him at that point? Throw the same combination over and over again against Alexander Volkanovski. And then you get clipped because of course Volkanovski is going to see where the bullshit is leading, and now he's going to TKO you. Like, his striking is great. He's like it is. I think he's too dang repetitive. Like, the stuff that he can pull off, yes, no, average to smart. The way that he puts it together is average. He throws the same combinations over and over again until he gets a crazy KO. The fact that he'll engage in grappling where he just doesn't have to. I know he submitted Josh Emmett, but brother, trying to submit Brian Ortega is one of the lowest IQ moves I have ever seen in combat sports ever. It really is that bad. So yeah, below average. Charles Oliveira. I think I might put him above Pereira. Do I? Yeah, I might put him above Pereira. I'll put him above Pereira and Israel Adesanya. He doesn't go in MMA Genius, even though he is an extremely well-rounded fighter. Why does he miss out? Because you decide... I partly understand why he does it. It's a reflex. He got rocked by Dustin Poirier, goes to his back. Got rocked by Justin Gaethje, goes to his back. But he knows that somebody like Gaethje is not going to try to go in and risk getting submitted by somebody like Charles because the risk is just too high. But doing that against Islam Makhachev, I'm sorry, low fight IQ behavior. Don't be doing that. Don't be trying to play bottom, like, jiu-jitsu off your back when you're dealing with somebody like Islam Makhachev, who his entire threat is the fact that he can hold people down and break people. Not smart. It just isn't smart. I'm sorry. Next up, Divison Figueiredo. I'm gonna put him in smart. I have to put him in smart. Joseph Benavidez fight, the way that he was able to take control of that. The Brandon Moreno fights, although some of them were not the best showcase. I'm gonna put him in between Alex Pereira and Israel. The part of the reason this flyweight isn't the best, but at the same time, what he was able to do to Rob Font, the way that he's able, he has a mind of a tactician, and I do respect that. He doesn't quite go into MMA Genius, but damn, is he going to be a smart dude. Very few low fight IQ points in his career, aside from like a few stuff in like transitions. Good jiu-jitsu IQ, I think that carries him the farthest. But also great striking. We saw that from the Rob Font fight. We saw that from... Yeah, no, he's a smart dude. Honestly, I might actually put him above Israel. Watch the Pantoja fight. Brandon Moreno, another dude. Yeah, a lot of you guys are going to be shocked. Average. I might put him above Strickland. Barely above Strickland. And why is Figueiredo so far above Brandon Moreno, even though Brandon Moreno won the quadrilogy? Watch the Royval fight. And watch the Pantoja fight. And you tell me where do you think his fight IQ's at. Honestly, it's the Royval fight that pisses me off the most. That drops him from smart to average. That was that bad. I'm still pissed off about it. Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley, dude, his striking IQ. He also tapped out Tatatori Gomi, who is a legend in the sport. Do I put him above an Alex Pereira? Honestly, I might slightly. Israel Adesanya? It's going to be narrow. Very narrow. I'm going to put him there. Yep, I'm very, very narrow. You can argue that all day. Not quite an MMA genius. I need to see more of his grappling. He doesn't utilize all of it. But I'm definitely going to put him up there in smart. I'm going to put him above Figgy. Charles is a bit more well-rounded. Dominic Cruz has a longer resume of high fight IQ moments. And Sean O'Malley just has to prove that. Corey Sandhagen. Dude, Corey Sandhagen's actually kind of a genius sometimes. Smart as fuck. I would actually put him right next to... I might even put him over O'Malley. Because it takes a lot to not just be good at something, to be able to explain it to people that don't know shit. Corey Sandhagen's breakdowns on his YouTube channel are actually some of the most comprehensive and understandable and palatable breakdowns I have seen. Very underrated YouTube channel. If you haven't already seen it, give him a little look. Corey Sandhagen, honestly, just because I want to, promote people to his channel, I want to put him above O'Malley. I think his breakdowns are on next level up. Jiu-Jitsu needs a little bit of work. That's what gets him out of MMA Genius. And maybe I'll move some people up to make it a bit easier. We still got a few more left. Demetrius Johnson, genius. Actual genius, dude. He's going to be our first MMA genius. I might port a few people up. Is anybody going to argue? Legitimately, is anybody going to argue? He kind of has to go up here. How did I not get Jones on here? Okay, give me a second, y'all. I can't believe it. Maybe I just assumed I already put him on here, and that's why I didn't already think about it. I'm gonna say that's my excuse, okay? I think that works out. John Jones, boom. Let's do John next, actually. John Jones, MMA genius. Yes, no. Demetrius Johnson, in my mind, has slightly better fight IQ. It's the 12-6 elbows. That was just dumb. I'm sorry. That was a low IQ moment right there. Also, the stuff that happens outside the cage. Impulsive as fuck. I have to put him... He's an MMA genius, but below Demetrius Johnson. Another MMA genius, honestly, GSP. GSP is going to go up there. I'm going to put him... Just because of all the realms of the game that he was good at and the generations that he was able to beat, I'm a GSP guy. I'm going to be impartial to him. I'm going to put him above John Jones, but below Demetrius Johnson. Khabib Nurmagomedov. I want to piss a lot of people off. I'll put him above Henry Cejudo. He's not an MMA genius. I'm sorry. His striking just was never there. It wasn't. I'm sorry. The amount of people that are saying now that Khabib Nurmagomedov's striking was actually underrated. Look how effective he was. It's not that it was effective by itself. It's the fact that if you have to worry about a double leg every single time somebody changes levels, it's going to be real easy to hit an overhand right. Okay? Khabib's striking is not effective because by itself it's great. No. It's effective because his wrestling is so terrifying that people would rather eat an overhand right than risk getting wrestle-fucked by this man. So yes, he's a smart dude. Smarter than Henry Cejudo. Smarter than these guys. He's not an MMA genius. The striking just wasn't there. Max Holloway. He only ever lost... I'm going to put him up here. I'm gonna put him... I'll put him above... Do I? I'll put him above Alex Pereira. I'm 50-50 on Israel Adesanya. Figueiredo, he did dominate his division for a little bit. Max Holloway, I'm going to put him there. The Calvin Kattar fight was a big one. The Yair Rodriguez fight. The Arnold Allen fight. The Korean Zombie fight. Brian Ortega, he completely outclassed him. Yeah, no, I kind of have to put him in smart. His grappling needs some work. Other than that, he's definitely going to be going up there. Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair placement. Anderson Silva. I'm going to put him at the bottom of MMA Genius, honestly. Honestly, yeah. Well, why? The fact that he was taunting people drops him down, and it almost drops him down the smart. But his striking IQ was a different level. It really was. Snapped his leg. That's what changed the course of his entire career. One of the worst downfalls in the sport, honestly. But in his prime, he was destroying people. Now, yes, level of competition is different, but at the same time, let's compare Anderson Silva to the people that he was fighting and the fact that he was doing well later on in his career outside of the last two fights. Took Israel Adesanya to a decision when Israel was a contender. I have to put him in an MMA Genius. Next up, Brian Ortega. Average. The striking, dude. His strike, honestly, I'm going to put him below Strickland. No, I'm going to put him below... Yeah. I think he does enough to be above Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. But, yeah, no. Average. Painfully average, actually. Why, though? he forgot to block in the Max Holloway fight. I'm sorry. That really was that bad. He did good. His grappling IQ is something else, but the Yair Rodriguez fight, if Yair Rodriguez didn't have atrocious fight IQ in that fight, I think he would have been finished. But I'm going to put him at the middle of average, purely because his grappling IQ is up here. But damn, his striking can be something else sometimes. Nate Diaz, below average. I'm sorry. He's just durable as shit. Honestly, I'll put him above Tony Ferguson. Wait. Yeah, I'll put him above Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson just accepted the guillotine. But dang, Nate Diaz sometimes, dude. Like, and I know some people are going to say, well, everybody will bring that up. If you ever say anything bad about Nate Diaz in particular, people will say, well, he rocked Leon Edwards. Yeah, did he go try to finish him? No? Okay. He was also losing every other moment of that fight in the striking. He was getting played on. Nate Diaz, yeah, no. I think most people agree with me on this one. I'm going to put him in below average. He's just durable as fuck. Bryce Mitchell. Not the bottom of dunce. He's a dunce. I'm sorry. He is. Yeah, boy. Where do I begin? It's rough. Okay. The Ilya Topuria fight was a one. Should Ilya be on this list? I might pour him in at the very end. Bryce Mitchell, though, like, he's a frustrating dude to watch fight, and in all honesty, I think people are starting to agree with it now. I think he lost to Dan Ige. I think Dan Ige sort of won that fight, and I think even Dan Ige... No. Of course Dan Ige thought he would win. But, like, I thought Bryce Mitchell lost that fight. Good grappling IQ. But damn, dude, you are one of the most frustrating fighters to watch sometimes. Next up, Islam Makhachev. I would say smarter than Alex, smarter than Israel, smarter than Figgy, O'Malley. All over everything, honestly. I think he would be in the same realm as a Khabib Nurmagomedov, but Khabib has better grappling. I'm sorry, striking-wise, it's Islam. I don't care if anybody's going to say that Khabib Nurmagomedov roughed up Islam Makhachev in training on the feet. That's bullshit until I see footage. Islam Makhachev, from what we've seen in the octagon, against opponents that he's been fighting, is a better striker than Khabib ever was. So I'm going to put him at the top of smart, almost to MMA genius, but his grappling is just too damn good. Bobby Green, almost below average. Why do I say that? Why'd you take a short notice bout against Islam Makhachev the moment that you got hype? Why'd you take a short notice bout against Jalen Turner? Why didn't you just take the Dan Hooker fight? And then he accused Islam Makhachev of doing steroids after the loss. I don't care if he's doing it or not, but like, brother, have some proof, please. And then everybody who trains at Tiger Muay Thai apparently is doing juice. He accused Piotr Yan of it. It's the... Keep your hands up also when you're fighting Jalen Turner. Barely makes average. Bottom of average. Dunce. Below Bryce Mitchell. Diego Sanchez. Do I need to bring up anything else? The Church of Self-Awareness. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, dunce. And the king of all the dunces, what I wanted to end the whole video on, Brennan Saab. Dunce of the dunce. I don't even think anybody's going to disagree with me on that. I am a little bit mad at how the order of some of the fighters on this one. I don't like that I had so many smart fighters at the beginning and all the MMA geniuses were in a row. But I do like how it all ended off. You can definitely debate within the tiers, but I think everybody's in the tier that they should be at. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below. What's a YouTube video that you want me to make next? I have to cover what's going on at UFC 300 because holy shit, that's pissing me off. But new MMA content every single day. Do yourself a favor, click the subscribe button, hit the bell icon to stay notified, and with that out of the way, adios, guys.